Alright guys, here we go then with a caramelised onion chutney. So for this one we need about 1.5 kilograms of onions, and I've just weighed those. They're just over, so that's all right. Loads of small onions would do, but I want to use these up because they don't store all that well, so I want to get these used up. Muscovado sugar, I'm using light for this one. You can use dark if that's what you've got. Garlic, I'm using lazy garlic. Whole grain mustard or ordinary mustard with a few mustard seeds in, and I may just chuck those in anyway. Chili flakes or something with a bit of heat, so I'm going to use Tabasco sauce with this one. Red wine vinegar, balsamic vinegar, bit of paprika, and some olive oil to sweat the onions down. And I think that's about it. But what I'll do quickly, I'm going to clear the decks and just show you what I'm cooking with. Okay, now, so what we got for cooking, the utensils, if you like. Knife sharpener, a couple of knives. I'll be sharpening those in a second. In fact, I'll do one now. They're already quite sharp, actually, so you don't need an awful lot. Yeah, that's fine. Take the burrs off. Yep. Finish with that, actually. I'll use that later on. Scales, chopping board. I've got a bamboo chopping board. I quite like these, actually. Not too dear, but they're good. Set of measuring spoons, graduated. I've got, what, a quarter teaspoon up to 1 tablespoon. Don't know what that's doing there. Wooden spoon. Now I like this one because it's got that little nook, that little angle in the corner, and you can get into the corners of the pan. Speaking of which, we got a preserved pan. Handy bit of kit. It's got a little spout on it for pouring with. We got a funnel to top the jars up with, and all this lot will be sterilised, and I'll talk about that in a few seconds. So we've got a load of jars. This chutney should make about a litre, I think, about a litre. So I'm going to need, these are 380, so I'll need either 3 of them or 2 of them and a small one. Another set of spoons there in case they get dirty. So what I do to sterilise, noise ring, isn't it? All I do to sterilise is wash everything in the dishwasher or in hot soapy water, doesn't matter. Give them a good rinsing. And I take the lids off, put a little bit of water in the bottom, maybe 3 millimetres, a little bit more maybe, and then in the oven. In the oven, 105, 110 Celsius, just so the water's hot, boiling, making steam still. Tip the water away, pop the lid on until I use it. Sterilised jars. And the last thing we need is something to provide the heat, and I'm using my Tefal Everyday IH, and IH means induction hob. I love it, great bit of kit. I'll put a link for it down below actually. In with about 3 tablespoons of, I'm using olive oil. This is a low grade sort of cooking olive oil, so don't use extra virgin, you're wasting your money. About 3 tablespoons. And I'm working to one side here because I want to use that camera a bit today. Okay, top tail, peel the onions and then slice them however you want. If they were smaller, you could leave them as rings actually, but these are a bit big, so I'm just going to slice these. It's quite fine slices. Let's chuck them in as we go. And all we're trying to do with these is sweat them down. We're not trying to brown them off or anything, just make them steam away in their own liquid. You see that gently, they're reduced by about half, so they're sweated down, there's no colour to them, and they're about half the size they were when I started. That's what we're after. Okay, then we want about 300 grams of the sugar for the whole recipe, but for now we're just going to put about 3 tablespoons in, just to get things browning off a little bit. Starts the caramelisation off. And about 4 or 5 minutes like this. That's it, that's all mixed in. You can turn the heat up a little bit as long as you're watching it. We don't want this to catch, okay? Okay, that's been just over 5 minutes. I reckon that'll do. It's gone brown. It's not burning. So we'll lower the heat a little bit. We'll put all the sugar in. About half a teaspoon of salt, which I forgot at the beginning. Optional, of course. And then in with all the other ingredients. Let's get this mixed up first, the sugar. You've got to watch this now, you don't want this to catch on the bottom. 200 ml of red wine vinegar. Let's get that in first to give it a bit of liquid. That should stop it burning a bit, stop it catching. 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. There we go then. Ooh. That'll do. 3 crushed garlic cloves, or in my case, 3 teaspoons of lazy garlic. Ooh, that's changed the smell a bit. A tablespoon of whole grain mustard. I have to get a new one of these soon, running out. And like I said, I'm going to put some mustard seeds in as well, because I like seeds in my chutneys. How much should I put in? Let's put that's about an extra teaspoon. Nearly there. A bit of paprika. Let's go for a bit of colour for this. We'll have a teaspoon. Make sure I use the dry end. And I'm thinking, last but not least, is a Tabasco. I'm going to put some in now, and we'll taste it later on to see if I need more. The good thing with Tabasco is it mixes straight away, whereas the flakes take a while to diffuse. So, oh, I better stop there. Oh dear me. Never learn, do I? What we'll do now is cook it for 30 odd minutes. And what we'll do is, if you can see it on this one here, we'll do a dredge test. But we'll come back to that in a minute. So turn it down, watch it a bit, don't let it burn. Back in a bit. All right, guys, we've been going about 20 minutes now. It's reduced quite a lot, as you can see. But what we're looking for now is the dredge test. And if you've never done it before, this is what it is. You grab your spoon, stick it to the far side of the pan and pull it backwards. And if it leaves a channel behind with liquid just slowly going into it, then the chutney's ready. This isn't, because it's filling up too quick. Look. So I'll show you again in about, I don't know, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay, that's another 10 minutes. Not far off there, look. Not far off. I'm going to leave that 5 minutes. Of course, it all depends on how runny or set you want your chutney to be. I like mine a little bit firm. There's a little bit too much liquid there at the moment, look. A little bit too much, so back in 5 minutes. Okay then, that's another 5 minutes in. That is just about right for me. And don't forget, a lot of this this syrupy liquid will, is that the right word, solidify as it cools down and absorb into the onions. I nearly did a delia then, I nearly said microwave. I got the jars and the lids out of the combination microwave oven. Couple of millimeters of water in the bottom, 105, 110 degrees, and it just boils and it sterilizes them. So that's them out the way. Same with the funnel. Ooh, bit warm. All right, I promised you I'd have a quick sample just to see if it's warm enough for me. Oh, I tell you what, that's nice before it's cold. Right, a little bit more heat in a chutney for me. I'm just going to put a few more drops of Tabasco in. Obviously, you don't need to do this. Right. And I've got a little surprise for my friend as well. We're having a bit of a get-together at my mate's house in a couple, 3 or 4 weeks' time, so this should be just about ready. So I'm going to take a jar with me. But he likes warm food. Now, I've got a dried chocolate habanero here. So what I'm going to do, in one of the jars, which I shall label, I'm going to put a few slices of this in the bottom. In fact, I'll chop it a bit further like that. There we are. Yeah, he likes a bit of heat. But I'm going to give it a name and I'll show you that in a minute. Right, so let's get these jars sorted out. Right, I'm going to make his first. So what I'm going to put some of these chilies in the bottom. These are, like I said, chocolate habanero. Right in the very bottom. And we'll load the jar up. I tell you what, I ain't far off full, that one. Yeah, leave that to one side a second and do the rest. Here we go. Trying to pop a few air bubbles out the middle. Doesn't really matter that much. Oh, that is sweet. Sweet, tangy, a little bit spicy as well. Right, going to wipe the top. And before it cools down too much, I get the lids on. The idea being then it will sort of shrink, seal, if you know what I mean. Just wiping these to get the syrupy bit off, just in case it sticks to the lid. There we are then. Right, back in a second with a couple of labels. Well, here we are then, guys. I didn't realise these two jars were different sizes, but just as well, because I know that's the first one. So I know that this one is... Now, this is a cryptic clue from my friend, but he won't work it out. I'll just put the label on and show you. Megan Trainer Onion Chutney. I'll give you 10 seconds. You got it? It's all about the base, the hot chilies are in the bottom, so it's all about the base. He'll get a surprise when he gets to the bottom of this, I tell you. He likes hot chilies, so no worries. Well, there you are, guys. The first of the preserved onion recipes, onion chutney. A few more to come. I'm enjoying these onions, I tell you, really good. Take care, guys. Catch you soon.